Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Over 40 with the Shorty, where we're here to keep it all the way real about this late in the game motherhood journey. I'm your host, Tovan, and today I am working from Texas, visiting my family, and I have my co-host, my shoddy, Sanaya with me. Say hello. Say hello. Hello. Okay, so let mommy record for a bit, okay? And so if pardon me if you hear her in the background as we're going through this podcast. She is running around and living her best life. So yeah, today we're going to talk about one of the most exhausting parts of pregnancy. At least it was one of the most exhausting parts for me. And that was all the unsolicited advice. Now, I get it. People mean well. I mean, they really do. But sometimes what people were offering felt less like support and more like criticism and judgment, and really just sometimes just killed the vibe. So in those times I I would just remind people of the old saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Um, And let me tell you, pregnancy brings out all of the well intentioned but unnecessary commentary and advice. So today we're diving into it. We're going to talk about those ridiculous pieces of advice and opinions that people felt the need to give me, um, and the fact that I think that people really need to learn how to keep their thoughts and their hands to themselves. Um, and most importantly, we'll talk a little bit about how I went about shutting down all that noise. But, you'll definitely figure out how to do it on your own as well. So let's grab your tea, grab your coffee. And if you're currently pregnant, that's sparkling water you're pretending is champagne. And let's get into it. You ready? All right. So let me start with one piece of advice that actually really did help me, because Lord knows that helpful advice was rare. But when I finally told my job that I was pregnant, which I was like 6.5 months by the way, I did have a colleague hit me up with the realest advice, and her advice was like, "Don't listen to what people say. Um, just don't listen. Do it whatever way you want to do it. People are going to have a lot of advice, and most of it's going to be trash. So that's the best advice I can give you." And she was so right. And that became my mantra throughout the pregnancy. I had to repeat it daily because the amount of unsolicited advice, comments, critiques I got from friends and family, strangers, even like people at the grocery store or random places who clearly had no business giving me pregnancy advice, but still felt the need to do so. It was completely overwhelming and exhausting. Really, it was. So now that I have given you the best advice I have ever received, let's get into some of the worst unsolicited advice and or comments that I got during my pregnancy. So first, let's talk about some commentary. You guys know this is Over 40 with a Shorty podcast, which means I had a baby over 40. In fact, I was 42 in the delivering room, just a few weeks away from my 43rd birthday. And the amount of times that I heard people tell me that I'm too old for this, or pose it as a question like, "Aren't you too old for this?" Whew. Y'all, the way these people were obsessed with my age, like I wasn't aware of how many birthdays I had had. Like, make it make sense. The worst one was one time I was at my mom's house. She was talking to somebody about my baby shower, someone from her church, and they were on speakerphone. And, I just remember the lady straight up saying, like, "Ain't your daughter too old to be having a baby?" Y'all, I don't know this lady. I don't think I've ever met her. If I have, I don't recall. But I quickly said, "Excuse me, ma'am, how about you stay in your prayer circle and out of my uterus?" Who are these people? Like really, who are these people? The second thing is not commentary per se. It is commentary. It falls underneath the commentary bucket. But I love you, baby girl. But it was like what was shocking and disturbing sometimes was that men, there are a lot of men with a pregnancy fetish, sir. Like, please get a life or a wife or someone else that you can project these fantasies and fetishes on because this is so uncomfortable. Um, I really wasn't ready for the amount of attention I got from men who saw my big belly and decided that like it's a perfect time to either try to holler at me or, one dude had the nerve to say, I love pregnant women. Thank you. Thank you for the rock, baby girl. hmm Um, yeah, so one dude, like, he really had the nerve to say, like, I really love pregnant women. It's just something about y'all. Um, just glowing and full of life. And then he proceeded to go into discussions about lactation and breast milk. It was real weird, like really bizarre. Um, he started asking me questions like, are you planning to breastfeed your husband? What? Like, sir, what's your name again? Like, who are you and why? Why? I was not expecting it. There was also a time I was on vacation with friends, and there were some guys also on vacation who just kept asking if they could touch my belly. Excuse me? Like, no, thank you. Hard pass. So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Like after a while, I contemplated opening up an OnlyFans page because at this point, if y'all this obsessed, at least let me profit off of it. And I did. I talked myself out of it. But should there be a next time, and I'm not planning a next time. Let's be clear. But should there be a next time? Oh, you best believe I'm absolutely gonna have an OnlyFans page. So you'll look out, look out for it. Um, let's see what else. Oh, baby names. Listen, all these baby name consultants that came out the woodworks. Like people really love to give you baby name suggestions that you never asked for. And for some people, like they weren't even like subtle about disliking the names that you had in mind already. I had some folks making faces like, I don't know about that one. You don't have to know about it, sis. It's not your baby. Like, what part of this suggests that I care about how you feel about my child's name? Um, yeah, I just didn't get it. And it was just disheartening, uncomfortable, ridiculous. Yeah. So don't be a baby name consultant. Don't give your opinion. It's not your baby. It's not. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Um, what else? Advice, comments. Oh, okay. So this was definitely discussion I had during pregnancy. And continue to have after pregnancy for whatever reason. But the epidural versus natural birth debate. Whew, y'all. People treat this like it's a full blown lifestyle war. I'm for real. Like, whether or not you choose to have a natural birth is your business, your choice, or whether you choose to have an epidural is your business and your choice. But everyone seems to have an opinion about it. Not everyone, but a lot of people do seem to have an opinion about it. I chose to have a natural birth, but I was very clear with my healthcare provider and with my doula and with my mom and with my sister who are all in the delivery room with me at the end of the day. I was very clear that if my body can't handle this, like if we get into this labor and delivery room and I can't do it anymore, like my body is not well enough, I'm not strong enough, the baby's not coping with this process um, in a way that makes sense, then all bets are off, because at the end of the day, I want to make sure I have a safe and healthy pregnancy, period. So it was my option. It was my preference to have a natural birth. And thankfully, I was healthy enough and everything went. Now, everything didn't go as planned. She was early. We delivered at 36 weeks, 3 days. But I was able to deliver her without an epidural, naturally, without a C-section. So it worked out. But baby, it was something. And so I completely commend anybody who's had a natural birth, but I also completely respect people who want to do this pain free. There are no gold medals at the end of the day. Your job is to get baby here unharmed and keep yourself healthy in the process. So I don't give people my opinion. You do what you want to do. If you ask me what my preference is, I'll tell you, and I can tell you the whys for me, but that doesn't make sense for everybody. So yeah, stop projecting that and get out my uterus. It's my baby, my birth, my rules, and I lived by that, and I had the experience I wanted to have at the end of the day. But whew, it was exhausting debating people. I just stopped debating. I just started letting people tell me what they thought, and moving on with life. um, Breastfeeding versus formula, y'all. This was the judgment Olympics here, right? I mean, I really do feel like people are trying to place gold when it comes to this breastfeeding debate. Listen, I breastfed my baby until she was 1, but we supplemented with formula because I am not an oversupplier. Um, that wasn't me. So I was a just in time supplier and sometimes not enough supplier. So my baby had to have both when needed, right? Did my best to get her through the first 12 months. And when 12-month hit, I decided I'm not doing this to myself anymore. One, I'm exhausted. I am stressed out constantly. Like the amount of anxiety I had, because I was fearing that I wasn't producing enough and feeding my baby enough. Even though if y'all know my baby, you know she ain't never missed no meals. But I decided at 12 months to let it go. And guys, that was the best decision for me. The weight that lifted from my shoulders, I can't even describe. I was just tired and I didn't realize it. Like I was tired of feeling like I was the plug running an underground milk operation, trying to meet supply and demand. Um, so yeah, 12 months came and I clocked out. Like I clocked out of that ship with no regrets. And other people continue to breastfeed for 2-3 years. No judgment here. You do what you do. Like do what works for you. And if you don't want to breastfeed at all, there are plenty of healthy, happy, smart, intelligent babies out there who are formula fed, y'all. Like this is ridiculous. Feed your baby. That's it. Feed your baby. However you want to feed your baby. And I really wish people would stop being so judgmental, because I do think that a lot of postpartum depression occurs when we have unrealistic expectations, or when we're not living our own truth and trying to keep up with what everybody else thinks we need to be doing in parenthood. So listen, do you, for real, do you. And then because we're talking about doing you, another thing that is frowned upon, I have seen is very frowned upon from a lot of people. This was not pregnancy advice per se. This was post-pregnancy. This is like the baby's here. That's sleep training. um, I had never heard of sleep training before I had a baby, like before I was pregnant. But let me tell you, you don't have to sleep train your baby. You can feed on demand. You can, let your baby sleep when your baby want to sleep, and you could try to sleep when your baby's sleeping. I tried that for a little while. But what I'm telling you is, as for me and mine, sleep training saved me. And I think the only reason why I did not go into postpartum depression, well, there's a couple of reasons I think I didn't experience postpartum depression. But one of them mostly was I decided to attempt to preserve what sleep I could in order to be my best self every day for my baby. And that meant sleep training. Now, did not do that full cry it out method where people just leave their kid in their room, cry it out, and hope they pass out eventually, because my heart couldn't handle that. Like that wasn't for me. And there's a lot of different types and a lot of different ways you can sleep train, including, staying in the room with them until they fall asleep. And for me, it was more of a just leave her in her room for a few minutes at a time. And when she starts to fuss cry, go check on her, soothe her, and get her back to sleep. But continue to leave her in her room so she gets accustomed to that. And let me tell y'all, if y'all know Sanaya go to bed at 7 o'clock on the dot. Um, and she is ready. When it's 7 o'clock, I say night night, and Sanaya walks me to the room. We don't fight about it, and she sleeps pretty good. I mean, of course, there's a sleep regression, and that's real. You're gonna experience that. But for the most part, Sanaya's a good sleeper, and I don't think that would have happened without sleep training. That's just my opinion. Do it your way, though. I'm not telling you to sleep train. I'm just telling you that that was what I decided to do, and I have no regrets. So, for all those who think something is wrong with sleep training, I get it. It's not for you. Cool. Move on. But again, don't pass judgment on people who are doing what works for them. Do what makes you and baby healthy and happy at the end of the day. I needed to be healthy for my baby, and I could not do that sleep deprived. Period. So that's what we do over here. We get our sleep. Um, so yeah, again, debate your mama, not me. Ooh, speaking of mamas though, y'all. Me and my mom. And I love her. She is my support system, my rock. And I could not do this thing called parenthood without her. But baby, the way she kept trying to get me to put cereal in this girl's bottle. Why do people love pushing their old school advice on you? From day one, it wasn't just her, but even my husband. Put a little cereal in her bottle, she'll sleep longer. No, she won't. Who told you that? Where's the research? Can you point me to it? Like cereal, I get it. Some babies need cereal not in their bottle, but some babies do need cereal if they're not consuming enough calories, they're underweight. There's all kinds of reasons why you might want to introduce cereal to your child earlier than most people need to. But for me, my baby was eating good, and there was just no need to put cereal in her bottle. And for one, rice cereal contains arsenic. And I was like, no, thank you. Also, putting cereal in the bottle is a choke hazard. No, thank you. We're going to figure it out. She's going to eventually go to sleep. But we're not putting cereal in her bottle. So for me, the research was clear, but that's because I did the research. That it is not recommended that you do that. Now, you put cereal in your kid's bottle. I'm not judging you. I'm not telling you what to do and not to do. I'm telling you that for me, it's a no. We stuck with what worked for us, and we're good over here. Um, but yeah, me and my mama had that debate a couple times, and then she finally stumbled across some research herself and started sending it to me and said, "Oh, you were right after all." I love my mama. She's funny. um, yeah. So moving away from some of the advice, there were a few other things that stuck out to me, like the amount of people who want to hold your baby or come see your baby before your baby's vaccinated and all of that. And listen, I was not letting people pull up on me and my baby. You're not going to be in her face before she's vaccinated. And no, don't kiss her, wash your hands. Like I was very particular about who was in her circle as a newborn. We didn't really go anywhere. We were in the house. I didn't put her in daycare till she was almost a year old. And no, everybody could not hold her. Now, because I didn't let nobody hold her, even after she was vaccinated, I was real particular about people just holding my baby. I think that might have backfired, y'all, because this little girl, she is too independent. She does not like to be held. I'm serious. Sometimes I just want to sit down and hold my baby. And she'd be like, put me down. And she will tell you down. So I don't know if that was the right thing to do. Maybe I should let somebody hold my baby. But I mean, she's good, really. Um, yeah. I'm sure there's more unsolicited advice that I've received or other awkward things that happened in reference to people's commentary that just isn't coming to mind right this very second. But let me tell you, just do you. If I can offer any advice, here my shorty back here, she is living her best life, y'all. And I mean her best life. um, is do you like do what works for you? It's again your pregnancy. Do your own research so that you know, so that you're making informed decisions. Because when you don't know better, that's when you can fall into some of these other traps. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Such a beautiful rock. Such a sweet girl. Thank you for thinking of Mama. Rock, do you want it back? Okay, I'm gonna put it right here for you. Um, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I don't know, but people gonna have their opinions, and I mean they're gonna have an opinion about everything. Oh, I didn't even get into like what you should eat, how often you should feed your baby, and how much. So sleep when the baby sleep, like all kinds of stuff that just like it sounds good in theory, but listen, that's not reality. It's not practical. It's not my life. Um, and because none of these people are paying your bills, sis, but maybe they are paying your bills still. What I could tell you is it is your decision and your baby, your body, your experience to own. Um, and so just like my advice, not my advice, but when I think about how I handled all of that, I decided to lead with love and grace mostly, right? Meaning when people gave me advice, instead of just shutting them down. Now some people I just shut down because I told y'all I didn't have a good pregnancy. I wasn't a happy pregnant person. Um, and so I didn't have the capacity to care about people's feelings or to be concerned with people's feelings so much. Thank you. Thank you, baby girl. It's beautiful. You want to come up here with mama? Okay. Uh, but mostly I did try to give people a lot of grace too, because I know that I needed it in that moment. So I tried to be kind in how I listened and just, you know, took what I wanted and left what I didn't. Really, at the end of the day, sometimes that's the best way to do it. But there are some people who don't have boundaries. And for those people who just did not have boundaries and how they wanted to communicate or what they thought they needed to communicate to me, I just politely asked them to keep it to themselves. Like, I would tell them, you're not contributing to my well being. Like, this comment, this conversation is not positive, it's not supportive. And I don't want to have it. And mostly people would respectfully bow out of the conversation at that point. Okay, y'all. So my shawty is ready for me to go play with her. Thank you. You ready? Um, okay, y'all. So let's wrap this up. I'm sorry, my shorty is she's ready. She's ready for some dinner and some playtime. So that's going to be all for this episode. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. And listen, maybe you have your own wild pregnancy advice stories or commentary that people gave you. Send it my way. We might have to do a part two. But until then, keep glowing, mama. Keep growing. And keep telling folks to mind their business.